Hello, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Your friend GM is here to something more about research. Today I have selected ethical consideration research methodology, a brief introduction. Let's start our video from the second slide as well. What is ethical consideration? Ethical consideration can be specified as one of the most important part of the research. Research participants should not be subject to harm in any way whatsoever. Respect for the dignity of research participants should be prioritized. Full consent should be obtained from the participant prior to study. Ethical areas. There are 6 broad ethical areas that need to be considered in your research. In the chapter, we will discuss voluntary participation, informed consent, confidentiality, and anonymity. The potential for harm, communicating the result, and more specific ethical issues. Important point. According to Brahman and Bell 2007, the following 10 points represent the most important principle related to ethical consideration in dissertations. Research parts should not be subject to harm in any ways whatsoever. Respect for the dignity of research participants should be prioritized. Important points. Full consent should be obtained from the participant prior to the study. The protection of the privacy of the research participant has to be ensured. Adequate level of confidentiality of the research data should be ensured. Anonymity of individual and organization participating in the research has to be ensured. Any deception or exaggeration about the aims and objectives of the research must be avoided. Affiliation in any form, source of funding, as well as any possible conflicts of interest have to be declared. And topic communicating in research should be done with honesty and transparency. Any type of misleading information as well representation of primary data finding in a biased way must be avoided. Meaning of the ethical consideration. Ethics research for the reason for acting or referring for acting, for approving or not approving conduct, for believing or drawing some without virtuous and vicious conduct, or good or evil rules, the way that individuals are affected by the conduct of other merit ethical consideration. What's ethical consideration important in research? There are several reasons why it is important to adhere to the ethical norms in research. The norms promote the aims of research such knowledge, truth, and avoidance. For example, prohibition against fabricating, falsifying, or misrepresenting research data promote the truth and minimize error. What are the 5 ethical considerations? Informed consent, voluntary participation, don't harm, confidentiality, anonymity only assess a relevant component. What are the ethical considerations in research? Example, respect of the dignity of the research part should be prioritized. Full consent should be obtained from the part prior to study. The protection of the private research participant has to be ensured. Adequate level of confidentiality of the research data should be ensured. And the ethical consideration qualitative research. 2 ethical issues in qualitative research: confidentiality and the role of the researcher as a data collection instrument. We need to make sure that we provide a project population with the confidentiality at the stage of our research. This goes past getting informed consent from research participants. How can research be ethical? NIH Clinical Center Research published 7 main public guide conduct of the ethical research: social and clinical values, scientific validity, fair subject selection, favorable risk-benefit ratio, independent review, informed consent, and respect for the potential and enrolled subjects. What are the ethical considerations in psychology? Refer to the correct rules of the conduct research where carry on, so we have moral responsibility to protect research participants from harm. The purpose of the code to conduct protect research participant, the reputation of psychology and psychology themselves. 5 areas of psychology. 5. Discuss intellectual property frankly. Be conscious of the multiple roles following informed consent rules. Respect, confidence, and privacy. Tap into resources. 3 principles. For the fundamental principles: respect of the person, beneficent, and the justice. 5 ethical issues. Unethical leadership, toxic workplace culture, discrimination, harassment, unrealistic, conflicting goals, question use of company technology. What are some examples of that? Rules, workplace, guard, corporation, principality, which regular, the example is avoid, ensure optimal productivity output. What are the difference between ethics and morals? Why ethics is part of our daily life? Thank you so